Hey, well, this is Zacchaeus with another live word of the day. And a live word of the day. God bless for tuning in. God bless for tuning in. And those who tuned in for the first time, I thank you. And those who've been consistently support me, I thank you as well. And today I'm going to discuss eating the right foods, not watching what you eat, being conscious eaters. And I never forget one time, maybe about 4 years ago, one time, I was hungry. I was driving. Had it came from a long distance drive. I was hungry, and I stopped at McDonald's, and I just unconsciously bought a cheeseburger, and I ate the cheeseburger. It was I think it was the I guess two cheeseburgers. The next I had an appointment for a doctor. Went to the doctor, and the next day my blood pressure was extremely high. I'm like, I usually have good blood pressure. I usually have good pressure. When I check my blood pressure, it's never high, but my blood pressure was high that day. So the doctor asked me what I ate. What do I eat? Food. What kind of foods did I eat? And I kind of figured out I ate the fast food hamburgers, and then I was conscious of that day to know that I can't eat it no more. I was conscious that day to know that I got to be conscious of what I eat. And I was conscious that day to know that eating hamburgers, cheeseburgers can give you high blood pressure. And and I became a conscious eater from that day on. So I stopped eating fast foods. Just the other day on September the 18th was I think it was last week. September the 18th was National Burger Day. National Cheeseburger Day and Burger Day. Those burgers were 50 cents. I didn't buy it. It was a fight because I said, oh, my kids was with me, and I was like, hey, you know what? Nah. I'm gonna cook at home. Sometimes you gotta fight temptation in order to do the right thing. To do the right thing for your body, you gotta fight the temptation. You gotta fight it. Why? Because if you don't fight it, you'll always be drawn, you'll always be weak to go to it. Especially with with certain foods. If you're not conscious what you eat, you'll eat anything. You'll eat anything. And there was a brother, good friend of mine that I know. About 2017 he passed. But what he told me is that, and when he was a cab driver, I think he drove cabs, then he went into Uber. And this goes for the bus. This message goes for bus drivers too. And but let me just say real quickly before I get into the story that those who are listening to me, who are not in America, hamburgers and cheeseburgers like one of the national dishes of America. Famous hamburgers and cheeseburgers, and it was created in the 1900s by I think a man was Dutch. He was a Dutch man that came in the 1900s, and he created the hamburger, the sandwich, in the 1900s. His name was Louis Lassen, who created the first hamburger and continued to create hamburger. It wasn't popular, but he created it. Although kids were getting cavities, although kids were losing their teeth, kids' teeth were rotting away in the 1900s because they were indulging in candy. In the 1900s, it was indulging and going on to the 1920s, going on into the 1920s. Kids' teeth were rotting away still. So, I'll give you a little history before I get into the story. So, In 1954, Richard and Maurice McDonald created the franchise like you know it today, called McDonald's. Richard and Maurice McDonald created the franchise called McDonald's, as you know it today as McDonald's. And they seen the they want to create a franchise, but also it kind of helped kids it was tasty burgers, delicious burgers. It wasn't a big hit at first, but as it rolled into the 1960s, it became a big hit. And that solved a lot of the kids rotten their teeth problems, is eating the tasty sandwiches. And it became popular. Milkshake and a sandwich. Became very popular and it blew up. But fast forward, had a friend that passed. God rest his soul. And this message is for everybody, but particularly because he was a Uber driver, cab driver, and this is even a message for bus drivers. You have to exercise. Our body's made to move. I know you're imagine sitting for 8 hours all day and not exercising. You have to exercise. If you're driving, you have to get up and stretch your muscles and try to be conscious what you eat. If you have a sitting down driving job, because this brother had he had diabetes, and because of his eating habits, he drank Mountain Dew, he ate hot dogs because it was on the go. He grabbed some Mickey D's because it was on the go. He even grabbed some deli sandwiches because he had no time to cook, and he would drive all types of wee hours in the night just to pay rent. And the man was 5'10", 5'9", and 340 pounds, close to 400 pounds. And it played a toll on his body. The ailments he got, he went on dialysis. He got so sick, he was experiencing kidney failure. And as he experienced kidney failure, he went on that. He was a candidate for dialysis. He went on dialysis. And because he went on dialysis, here comes diabetes knocking on his door. So he lost limbs, fingers, toes, cause of diabetes, poor circulation. And at age 43, in 2017, June of 2017, he passed away. Still remember him till this day. Never forget him. And because of his job, his occupation of driving cabs, driving Uber sometimes just to make ends meet, I think about a few years ago, had a person, not my friend, but one time I was coming home from a trip, and a cab driver said that his kidney collapsed too for sitting so long and just picking up any food, just to eat any food. So, and he looked like he was he looked like he was okay. He didn't but he said his kidney failed. He has to get a kidney transplant because he had to get a kidney. See if who can give him a kidney. Eating is real. This eating can kill you if you're not conscious of what you eat. If you're not conscious of what you eat, you be packing on. You don't know. Some people have fast metabolism, but even with fast metabolism, you gotta be conscious of what you eat. Now, if we're not conscious of what we eat, it will show in our bodies. Try eating a cheeseburger or a hamburger and then going to bed. And drinking soda, especially soda, and going to bed. You'll feel uncomfortable. You will not sleep that night. You'll feel so uncomfortable. You feel so uncomfortable. I mean, you don't want to eat anything late at night, but the difference in foods, you'll feel uncomfortable. You're just gassy and it's just very uncomfortable. But we got to be mindful of what we eat. We got to be mindful. We got to be conscious of what we eat. Why? Because if we're not conscious and mindful of what we eat, it'll play a toll in our body. And have known people. I know people that lost their limbs. Have a family member that lost a leg, and we just got to be mindful not to indulge so much. Why? Because it would just play a toll on our bodies. I know I was talking to a good brethren of mine, and not too long ago, not too long ago, he was explaining to me how just be mindful of what you eat, be mindful and be conscious of what you eat. Why? Because later on, especially with our kids, later on in life, it just plays a toll in your body, ladies and gentlemen. And if you're just eating everything, now remember, when you eat everything and you go, if you're not cooking and you just want to just go grab a quick meal to eat, none. Bible says everything in moderation, and you wanna, and people just, and you just grabbing sandwiches and just grabbing hamburgers and cheeseburgers and not being conscious of what you eat. And let me tell you something. There was an experiment not too long ago. I think I seen this video last year, I would say, and I believe it was on YouTube. There was an experiment on a hamburger, fast food hamburger. I can't remember the franchise, whether it was Wendy's, McDonald's, or I can't remember the French, Burger King. And the burger was left for a few months. And he went to go buy a fresh burger. He compared it to the burger that was left for a few months. It looked the same. It looked the same. Hamburgers looked the same. But as he looked to the older burger with the fries did turn green. But the burger and the cheese had something in it. And this is what we're putting in our bodies. This is what we're putting in our bodies if we're not conscious eaters. And sometimes you can be studying, you can be reading the book or watching your favorite Netflix or watching the game. And we gotta be mindful of what we drink too. And I know some of us dudes or gals, you drink it when you have beer in your hand, be buying 6 packs, eating pizza, and not being mindful of what you eat. And next thing you know, you gain a few pounds. Next thing you know, you go to the doctor, your blood pressure is high. So yes, it can play a toll if you're not careful. It can play a toll in your body. And in many times, in many cases, if you're not watching what you eat, there's a thing called diabetes, a thing called high blood pressure, and you don't want to get on dialysis. To me, it's like when I hear somebody getting on that, like I say about my brother that passed at age 43 in 2017. If you're not mindful of what you eat, your body will shut down. And I mean, not like die, but eventually an ailment may come, and you don't want that. So it's good to exercise, good to stretch, especially if you're driving Uber, driving Lyft, and you're driving and you're city bus driver. or any long drive, long distance kind of jobs. You need to exercise. This goes for not only drivers, but also goes for us, myself, and while we have to exercise, we gotta work out. That's what we gotta do. Why? But let me correct myself too with that and saying that 90% is what you eat. 90% is what you put in your body. Exercising is half the battle. It's got to be a combination, folks. You got to eat right, eat the good food, vegetables, build your immune system with vegetables, eat some fruits. So we got to build our immune system, eat some fruits. So 90% is what you eat. Exercising is half the battle. Exercising is only half the battle. And I give you that advice. And the live word of the day is coming out of Isaiah 55, verses 2. Why spend money on what is not bread? And why labor on what does not satisfy? Listen to me and eat what is good. Well, this is Zacchaeus with another live word of the day. God bless and be safe out there. And remember, be conscious of what you eat. Well, this is Zacchaeus. God bless. See you next time. Godspeed and all the best. Be safe out there. See you next time.